My roommate's talking about butt sex right now.
No, I'm telling you what he said.
She's talking about butt sex.
Que podemos estar hablando de sexo y así, pues, o sea,
Hey guys, it's Wednesday again, so here's my video. So this week's topic is when we discovered that we were gay or bi or whatever we are, and how we felt about it. And I think my earliest memory of this was in 3rd grade, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I really hope this girl doesn't watch this video because she's gonna know that it's about her. But we were standing in line at recess to go back to class, and she was in front of me, and all of a sudden I kissed her on the shoulder, and she turned around and she was so mad, and she looked at me, she's like, "Did you just kiss me on the shoulder?" And I froze up and like almost started crying. I was like, no, I would never do that. I didn't do that. What are you talking about? And like lived in fear for the rest of 3rd grade, because in 3rd grade you don't realize that like what liking somebody even means. I mean, I imagine for straight people, like, even if you're a girl that likes a guy, you don't understand the fullness of it. Is that true?
What?
That like when you're younger and you like somebody, you don't actually know what it means. You're just like, oh, I like you and whatever. Yeah. So okay. So not that weird. I don't know. I guess it was even more confusing because like I didn't even understand the concept that like a girl could like another girl. So I just thought that I had like some weird like reflex thing, and for the rest of 3rd grade I didn't understand why I kissed her on the shoulder, and I was so confusing, and I was really mad at myself because I wanted to be friends with her really bad, probably because I liked her. Yeah, I just completely stayed away from her. And then a few years later, I knew that I liked her, but I was still in denial that I actually liked her the way that I did like her. And she came up to me in art class and asked if I would write her a Valentine's Day card. So my little 5th grader heart was like, this is my time to shine. I'm going to impress her with my mad poetry skills. And I wrote her a really embarrassing card. And on the front there was a little flower with a bumblebee, and it said Happy Valentine's Day, and on the inside it said, you make me buzz. And I made a sexual innuendo in 5th grade to a girl that I didn't know that I liked, which is really uncomfortable to think back about. She like showed the art teacher my card because of course she was mortified, and the art teacher's like, Jess, do you have something to tell us? Do you like girls? Blah blah blah, which only made me not want to like girls more, because that is really uncomfortable being called out in front of the entire class. And then this girl that I liked, after I gave her the card, she walked up to me and she like stomped up and like crossed her arms, and she was like, all I wanted was a card that said Happy Valentine's Day, and like walked away. And then I think that's when I realized that I actually liked her, because that like broke my child heart and I didn't know why, but I think that's when I realized there was something more there, because especially as a little kid I was like really carefree and didn't care about like relationships or if people liked me or having that many friends. And so having this girl walk away from me and having that like affect me so much, I think was when I finally was like, no, this is a little different. And then high school happened, and this is this is what happened when I told my best friend that I thought that I might like girls. So Marissa, I think that maybe I like girls. I'm not really sure. I'll keep you updated. I know. How do you know? I mean, I'm just kind of figuring out. I mean, I'm thinking, I know we've talked about it before, and Jess, but I think I still like guys. I don't know. It's just a possibility that I like girls. What? Why are you? Do you need me to like turn the light on in the closet? Is that what you need? Do you just need to find the path, or? I'm not that gay, am I? Just like I'm. Alright, who in the quad is most attractive? Oh my god, that girl over there is so. Oh. All my friends knew. Every single person that I told was like, yeah, oh, you're just coming to, we thought you already knew. Like, you are our like lesbian friend. What's going on? So yeah, well, my friends were very supportive, so that was good at least. If only I knew then, I just could have avoided that whole situation. Yeah, so I started telling my friends sophomore year, and all my friends were like, "Yeah, you're totally gay. Just come out of the closet. We'll turn the light on in there for you. Like you can find your way out." And so, and I never really like told anybody that I was gay after that because I wanted to be really open to possibilities, and I was also like really going to church at the time, and I didn't want to be an outcast there, didn't want to be an outcast in high school, so I was just kind of like going with the flow, didn't really say anything, but gradually my style started to change, and who I talked to and how I talked to them started to change, and people just kind of started to notice, and then one day, this girl came up to me and she was like, "Hey, there's a Pride festival going on, do you want to go?" And I was like, "What's a Pride festival?" Because I was a gaybie. And she was like gasped and appalled because she thought that I knew about the entire gay universe because I looked like a lesbian, And she explained it to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess I could go to that." And she's like, "Do you have a girlfriend or anything?" Like she was totally hitting on me, and I had no idea because it's the first time this has ever happened to me. And I was like, "No, I don't have a girlfriend." She's like, "Oh, well, we should totally go together." And I was like, "Yeah, no, that would be so cool. I'd love to have a friend." And then she was like, "A friend. Okay, yep. Well, never mind. I'm gonna go with this group of people, and you can find your own way." Honestly, just like looking back, that aspect of my life is so entirely embarrassing because you kind of get to this point after you come out and you're like comfortable with yourself where you look back on your life and you're just like, "Wow, I'm so gay." Like all the time. I've always been gay and I don't know how I didn't notice this. And you just kind of wish that you could go back to your little third grade self and be like, "It's just you kissed a girl on the shoulder. Honestly, you should be proud of yourself. Most of the guys aren't even doing that. Like, just it's okay." Yeah, I don't know. I guess me realizing that I was gay wasn't um, this all at once kind of like experience for me. It was like a gradual thing that I was really unaware of and tried not to be for a really long time. So I don't really think that it was like that I was in the closet or like denying myself from like being who I was for a long time or anything, but just the fact that I didn't realize it and I didn't even see it as a possibility, so I just never acted on it or made any changes. I was never like uncomfortable after I came out about it. My friends were really supportive. I mean, you get like the assholes in high school that throw sandwiches at you and stuff, but I mean, who cares, right? Like, it's another sandwich that you can eat at lunch, so it's free food. I guess if I had any advice, it would be just always keep yourself open to possibilities and don't close yourself out, like, no matter how old you get, because life is just an ongoing process. Like, you may think you know who you are one day, but you're constantly faced with situations where you can be a different person or change yourself or just start over, and so there's no need to think that you are one way or close yourself off to being somebody. So I think that one of the biggest things that like affected how I felt about me coming out was obviously what other people think, and everybody struggles with that, and I still struggle with that because I just moved into dorms. At I'm going to college. This is my freshman year. This is the first time that I'm surrounded by pretty much everybody that I don't know. There's not like a single person here that I'm already friends with or anything. And even though I kind of stayed in the same area, everybody that I do know is at least like 20 minutes away. So it's not like I can just go talk or hang out with somebody or explore downtown with somebody that I know. And so you're constantly faced with like people's first impressions of you, and the fact that like when they see you, the only thing they think is you are a lesbian, and that is all that is to you. And girls are afraid to talk to you because they think that you want their nuts no matter who they are. And guys are afraid to talk to you because they want to treat you like a bro, but they don't know how to because you're still a girl, and they don't know Like, there's still guys that are like, ooh, I can change you. And it's just, I mean, there's a lot that goes along with that. But at the time that I was realizing that this is legitimately who I am, um, not only was I in the midst of church and a 1 year relationship with a man, but I was facing um, the possibility that obviously, my family would not support me. And I think that's the hardest part, is because your family is who you want to support you the most, because they're always around you and there's literally like no escaping them. Like, you have to be around them. You try really hard to impress them because they're people that are always going to be in your life and you want them to like you. Um, and it's not like other things where you can mess up and then make up for it, where your family kind of forgives you. This is like, if your family doesn't agree with you being gay or coming out, it's not something that's going to go away later. It's almost like choosing to go against them for the rest of your life. And I think knowing that you can hurt people that you care about like that in such a strong way is something that's really hard to deal with. And that halted me for a little while, because I first, I started coming out and changing around school, but I would go home and pretend like everything was normal and that I was still, the teenage girl or whatever. I'd still wear dresses to prom and do my hair and makeup and tried to fit in with the other girls because I wanted to have a place and have my family look normal and not be the cause for scrutiny, and bring that into my family. The thing with parents is, that one day you're going to have to tell your dad that he's not walking you down the aisle, but that you're going to be at the end of the aisle waiting for your bride. Or you have to tell your mom that she's not planning your wedding. Your bride's family is planning the wedding, and that's just a really hard thing. It changes a lot of things that are so structured in normal lives. And I think that is the hardest thing, is realizing that there are a lot of things that not only you can no longer do or take part in, but it affects your family, and your family kind of gets the backlash from it, because no matter how strong you are as a person and how much you can deal with it, your family also has to deal with it, and it was not a decision that they made. And that's a really hard thing to place on somebody else, because you're not just completely changing your life, but you're changing aspects of other people's lives that they've planned for so long. So it's this constant struggle, because even though you know that you are who you want to be and you are happy like this, you are still going to be affecting other people for the rest of your lives, and you don't want to be that way. It's complicated, guys. I don't want you to think that it's not worth it. It's definitely worth it. Being yourself is definitely worth it. But also don't think that everything goes away, because it does change your life. So definitely in the end, the hardest part is just accepting that you're affecting other people's lives. But personally, other than that, my reaction to who I really was inside was just very beneficial to me as a person. I became a lot less bitter and a lot more accepting of other people as I accepted myself, and I got a lot more comfortable in my skin and began to make friends with people who actually liked me for who I was and who I really got along with and who I didn't have to pretend around. And I think I actually grew a lot with my family, and it's just been a big learning experience for me and everybody around me. I mean, I'm not done learning, and I never will be, but in the end, it's just a really positive experience. And I mean, it sucks sometimes, but it was totally worth it, and I don't regret it. And looking back, I think there's a lot more positive memories, and if not, the positive outweighs the negative in the end. Yeah, it's just...
We don't have to worry about nothing, 'cause we got the fire, and we burning one hell of a